Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we're talking Leprechaun 3. And that was directed by Brian Trenchard Smith and was released in 1995. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Eric, and with us is Paulie Shore. I cannot believe he accepted to be on the podcast. Paulie, welcome to the show. Just kidding. With us again is our reoccurring guest, Michael Valente. Mike, welcome back to the show. You're better than Paulie Shore.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I do love Pauly Shore, though.
And top of the morning to you, Mike. Are you drunk right now?
No, I should be, though. That movie was something else.
This movie absolutely deserves to be drunk or high while watching. If you're watching this sober, you're making a mistake.
If you're watching this before midnight, you're not doing it right. It needs to be like 12:45. You turn on the TV and you're like, "What's this?" And you're like kind of like 20 minutes in, and it's like, I gotta keep watching.
This is like I have COVID. You have to be sick or on drugs. I don't know. This one was a trip.
Sick or on drugs, or both.
So, just a little bit of context here. Mike is our guest that has been coming into series that he's not really familiar with. So, he did that with Phantasm for us, Poltergeist, and now he's doing it for Leprechaun. So, Mike, just to fill us in, what is your history with the Leprechaun franchise?
I was aware of it, and that's about it.
So, you've never seen it?
No,
Oh my God. Okay.
I mean, it sounds like he got it figured out, though. He understands it.
I wouldn't say it's a hard premise to understand. There were like a few things. I have notes that honestly, like, they just say what happened in the movie, but like, there's no real opinion written about anything because I don't even know what to think. This is just the weirdest thing.
It's a horror movie. He's an evil leprechaun. He wants his pot of gold. If you take his gold, he's going to do whatever it takes to kill you. That's every movie.
That's not the movie I saw, dude. This is about late stage capitalism and fall of America. I mean, there's a lot going on in this.
Lot more limericks too. I don't remember him doing this many limericks in this movie.
Well, okay, so Eric and I have covered the first two. We're trying to make it a yearly tradition on St. Patrick's Day to do a Leprechaun movie. Yeah, so we did the first one a couple years ago. It's okay. It's got, it's got Jennifer Aniston. It's got Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. There you go, Mike.
Nice. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's much better than this. And then the second one, also very bad.
I think this is better than the second one. I like this one better. Do you like this one better than the second one, Alec, or on par?
I think they're pretty on par. The only thing that made this one a little bit special is that they're like, "Hey, we are in Vegas. Like we're gonna hit up the tropes of Vegas." Because the second one took place in LA, but they didn't like do that much LA stuff. So it just kind of felt like a generic city. Where this one, they're like, "Nah, there's gambling and strippers and magic shows and."
I'm also surprised they didn't hit it with Leprechaun 3 in Las Vegas, or Leprechaun in Las Vegas. The next one, Mike, Leprechaun 4, which we have to have you back. Do you know what the fourth one is, Mike?
Oh, is that Back to the Hood or something?
No, that's the fifth one. The fourth one is in space.
Oh, well. I mean, why not?
And this is the third out of 8. And so the fourth one's in space, the fifth one is in the hood.
How does he get into space?
Well, do you want to stick around and watch it? We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah. You know what? I'm in.
The sixth one is back to the hood.
Right. That makes sense.
And the seventh one is like an origin. The eighth one's another origin or something like that. So there's like 8 of these.
And how many of them is Warwick Davis in?
Most of them.
6.
Yeah.
He's in 1, 2, 3, in space, in the hood, and back to the hood.
Yeah, so he's in 6 of them. I mean, without him, this series is absolutely unwatchable. I mean, he's the only thing that kind of gives a little bit of a charm, but otherwise, there's not really much redeeming qualities here. I mean, the music's terrible. It's not shot particularly well. The special effects were okay.
Listen. They did what they could with this budget.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Let's run through the stats real quick before we get into this too. June 27th, 1995, this came out. It's an hour 30 minutes, perfect timing. Its budget was 1.2 million. Its box office, there's no box office. It was straight to VHS or video. It doesn't have a Rotten Tomato score that I could find.
No, it's 0. It's
It's
0.
a 0? I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
I screenshotted it and sent it to you guys, didn't
Oh,
I?
no shit. No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. The IMDb I saw was 5 out of 10. I did not. I looked it up on my phone. I couldn't find a Rotten Tomato score. My bad.
I read that this is actually widely regarded as the best Leprechaun film.
Mike, you're not well. This okay. I want to say this too before we get into it. Apparently, this was Warwick Davis's favorite one to do. The director, he was so great. He wrote or he said something along the lines of the director was so great at doing a lot with so little. It was a $1.2 million budget, and yeah, I think he did so much with that 1.2 million.
Yeah, and it's also the director of the fourth one. He came back into the fourth one after this. Same guy.
Makes sense. So I think this did okay on video, probably enough to make a fourth one.
I also read that they filmed this in 14 days.
That makes sense. That adds up.
I believe that. I totally do. I mean, the only thing that would take any time is like putting the makeup and the prosthetics on Warwick Davis. Otherwise, it's just like, I don't know, find a fucking warehouse in Vegas and we'll just set up a fake casino.
Definitely a night of just Vegas exteriors, and that's it. And like Warwick will walk around Vegas for like a minute, and that's it.
Yeah, the exterior shots, I looked it up. They did it all in one day.
Believe it. Yep.
Brought him outside, walked him around, and the rest of it, they're like, all right, now we're just in some fake casino somewhere. I don't know. It's interesting though, because Mike, each of these movies basically disregard the previous one. That's why it's kind of easy to come into this. Like, you're not really missing much because none of the characters are the same aside from the leprechaun. And I have a theory that I presented in the last episode that each of these leprechauns are different leprechauns. They're not the same one. So there's a bunch of leprechauns. They're, all over the world. And this is just the Vegas leprechaun
And they all look the same, though, kind of.
to a degree.
Somewhat a little different. Some have a couple different quirks, but they all have the same thing with the gold and the shoes. What's the leprechaun's name? Is it Lud something or Ludwig or something? I read that somewhere.
Yeah, no, I read the same thing, and I'm actually checking now.
I think that's a good theory, Alec. I don't think this is the same one from one.
Yeah, his name is Lubden.
Lubden, that's it. Ludwig, what did I say?
So the way that this guy gets revived is there's like a pawn shop and this guy brings in a statue. We have no idea why this guy's freaking out.
This guy shows up with a hook hand, a eye patch. It's like, what happened? And
Yeah.
nothing. There's no explanation. This guy comes in. It's like clearly he's been through some shit though.
Like, take this medallion and this statue of this creepy leprechaun and I'll give it to you for like $20. Just let me, get the fuck out of here. So he gives it to him, which is actually this is actually how The Monkey starts. That new movie that's in theaters right now. It's pretty goddamn similar to this. So I'm thinking The Monkey stole it from this. But so yeah, so he tries to sell this leprechaun statue to this pawn shop. He does, and we never see that character again. We've never met that character before.
But $20 for that statue is kind of cool. I'd pay $20 for that and just have it hanging out.
Oh, dude, they could charge like $600 for that, and people would probably still buy it.
Oh, easily. I mean, especially with the Leprechaun franchise in general, I'd be like, yeah, $20, you got yourself a big deal. Here's 25, dude.
Yeah, I would definitely buy that. But then for no reason at all, yeah, he like takes off the medallion and the leprechaun's just like, I'm back now for no fucking reason.
Yeah, and the guy with the hook was like, "Don't touch the medallion," but he took the $20. It's like, dude, sorry, deal's a deal. I can take off the medallion. I'm not gonna listen to you. But he warned him, "Don't touch the medallion." And like within 10 seconds of buying this, and he leaves. What does he do? He takes the medallion off the statue, goes to look at it because he's a pawn shop owner, and the statue like what? It's just like he just comes out of the statue or like melts or something.
The statue turns in, he becomes a leprechaun again.
Yeah, and he's back at it.
So, Mike, this being the third one, though, were you like confused about anything? Were you like, why, who is that guy? Or like, what did you think like when this started?
I mean, my first thought was, is this guy with a claw for a hand in one of the original movies? Because he was in possession of the leprechaun, then just pawns it and is like terrified and ready to get away. So, I was a little confused, but I didn't really ask too many questions. The pawn shop owner is one of my favorite characters in that movie.
Gupta?
Gupta,
Yeah,
my
Gupta.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, he survived a lot longer than I thought he would actually. And he gives all of the exposition we need about leprechauns with his classic 95 Macintosh computer program or whatever.
I loved it. It wasn't even a CD. It was like a insert like floppy disk almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where did that come from? He just had that in the pawn shop somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like that's like before the internet. He's like, I'll put in my folklore disc and like put it in and
No, it was a Leprechaun disc.
No, it wasn't because there was like Wendigo. There was like you could select the menu of all these different things.
So it was like folklore.
It's not
Okay.
like the Microsoft Office CD. I feel like that's a weird thing to just have lying around anywhere.
Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I had all kinds of random computer disc things, like movie ones. I had an Animal Planet one with all these animals, so I believe it. I think this makes sense.
Yeah, but he just happened to have it on hand.
It's weird that he has it on hand, but also, yeah, back in the day, dude, they were just mailing these things out. Like with magazines, there would just be like a floppy disk in it, and it's like if you want to look at pictures of leopards or whatever, put in this fucking floppy disk.
It adds up. It adds up.
It's a stretch, but like whatever.
Yeah,
But
It's
I
it
mean,
adds up more in the 90s than it does now, because looking back, we're like, what the hell? Why does he have that? But it's like, do you remember the discs you had as a kid? Yeah,
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense. All the Magic School Bus games. It's like, oh, if I want to play like, with dinosaurs, I have the Magic School Bus game.
but either way, this all happened right after Gupta takes off the medallion. The leprechaun comes to life, bites off parts of his ear.
He disappears, and then the statue turned to gold. It turned into a pot of gold. That was the other part of the statue. The pot of gold appears after the statue.
Yeah, but then the leprechaun jumps Gupta and starts biting off parts of his body. And then Gupta's like, you know what? I'm gonna fight that leprechaun, the magic cannibal leprechaun. I'm gonna hunt him down and steal his gold. Because I didn't get enough having my ear and my toe bit off.
Well, he shines the medallion in his face, and he realizes, oh, I'm looking at this medallion right now, seeing if it's real and stuff, and I have it in my hand still, and he's scared of it, and that's how the leprechaun like kind of runs away.
Yeah.
He gets a gun too, right? Doesn't Gupta have a pistol?
Yeah, he has a gun in the basement.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if any of us just saw this little guy coming in dressed like this, I'd be like, all right, I'm just gonna shoot this guy. Like, you're not thinking this is actually a magical leopard. Well, maybe because the statue. I don't know.
Another Las Vegas crackhead. Here we go.
Well, didn't he also start foaming green from the mouth after like he flashed that medallion at him?
I think he threw like a coin in his mouth or something.
Well, I was gonna say the weirdest thing. This is so messed up about like certain cities in this country, but like being in New York or LA or whatever, if I just saw a guy like that walking down the street, I'd be like, "Hey, this guy!" Like nobody would be like afraid of him. But if that was in like a neighborhood in Avon, people would be like, "What the fuck is that thing?" But people are so used to like insanity.
Yeah.
Crazy shit in Vegas too. Like there's the Elvis impersonation scene is the best. It's like an Elvis impersonator and a guy dressed as a leprechaun. It's like, welcome to Vegas, baby.
The leprechaun would not like scare people in Vegas. People would probably think he's part of a show or something, you know? So I kind of liked that.
That's a good point, Alec. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, if this was like Wisconsin, they'd be like, fucking get it. But in Vegas, they're like, haha, he's probably from the Excelsior or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that whole scene is fun, but yeah, so what happens then, Mike? What happens after Gupta and the leprechaun get in a little fight?
So I think right after that, you meet Tammy, whose car broke down.
Love Tammy. Horrible actress.
If
Loved her.
She's very attractive. Very attractive. Very attractive.
the hot blonde magician.
I was a fan of her, but I will admit she was an awful actress, and she never did anything after this,
Mm.
which is not surprising. But yeah, you're right, Mike. We meet Tammy, and yeah, her car broke down, and she's just like, "Well, it is on the Las Vegas Strip. I guess I'll just leave my car here and hitchhike." It's like, what?
Oh, she'd get picked up within 30 seconds, which she kind of does.
No, she
Yeah.
would, but the idea of leaving your car on the Vegas Strip and not calling like a tow truck or something, I don't know. Like she's never gonna see that car again.
Gone. Gone. Someone got it. It's parts now.
I mean, that thing's not driving anywhere.
It sounds like she's like living paycheck to paycheck in this magician gig anyway. So
Yeah, I love the vagueness of like, what are you doing in Vegas? It's like, listen, sometimes you come here and you just can't leave. It's like, why? Like, what? Well, you're just a magician's assistant. You're not like with the cartel. Like, get out of here. What are you doing? But she's trapped in Vegas for some reason, and she meets our lead guy, Scott, who's on his way to college in LA. And he's like, hey, I figured I'd stop in Vegas. And he meets this hot girl. And yeah, you're right, Eric. You know, she finds a guy to pick her up immediately and he drives her to her job. He's like, I'm gonna go gamble at this casino.
well, she sneaks him into the casino. He's 18 or 19.
Right,
So
right.
she gets him in there, but she's like, don't gamble, just hang out. And what does he do? He has a $10,000
No, no,
No,
no.
it's 23.
$23,000 cashier's check, which is nobody would be carrying that around with
No
them.
parent would ever do that. They would mail it to the school.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, let you cash the check and pay the school tuition. I trust you. Especially what he does with that money. He immediately loses it all. He gambles when he was not supposed to. But we also meet the owner of the casino, I think, who doesn't care that he's underage. He knows he's underage, but he sees that money and he's like, let him play. And we also learn when he's gambling that the casino's rigged. There's magnets and all these other things.
No, he never learned that.
He didn't learn that, but we learned that as the viewer watching
Yes.
the owner's a piece of crap and the casino should be shut down. And also the casino, the name of it, anyone catch that?
Is it Lucky Shamrock,
What,
Mike?
the
The
leprechaun?
Lucky the
Yeah.
Lucky Shamrock. How convenient.
Yeah, I
Name
mean,
Yeah.
for a Leprechaun movie. And it's not too lucky. You don't win your money here.
No, that's casinos.
I would love for someone to stand up on the table and be like, has anyone won anything in this casino? And everyone's like, I didn't win anything. It's like, that's what I want to hear at a casino. Did anyone win anything?
Well, he's clearly not good at it because he's got those loan sharks like breathing down his neck.
Oh yeah, he's a total con artist. And yeah, there's these two other like big guys that are kind of funny.
they're the best part of the movie.
Yeah, they are.
And they're like, hey, Tony needs his money. And he's like, I'll get it to you at 10. And like, that's kind of it. The jokes they have are pretty funny.
Yeah, he's like, wait, don't you go and break at 9:45? He's like, yeah, I do. He's like, do you think you'd be back by 10? He's like, yeah, I could. It's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna get you a 10. And it was just very, I felt improvised, but it felt very natural. And that guy kind of looked like Alan Rickman a little bit. But yeah, Mike, you and I, we've been to a Vegas casino, Mike. We went.
Yes, we have. I do. I remember that. We drove there from LA.
And we didn't gamble $23,000 or meet a leprechaun.
No,
You ain't got through $23,000 in cashier checks.
it would be very nice if I did, though.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, surprisingly, Mike and I did not spend a dime on gambling, right?
No, I don't gamble.
That's the way to do it. I was with my uncle a couple times in Vegas and I didn't really gamble. We just did a couple machines and then that was it. But when you leave Vegas and you didn't gamble, you have the best time. When you go to Vegas and you gamble, you have a terrible time.
Yeah, we got a slice of pizza. We were on the road, you know. Remember, Mike, we got
Yeah.
trapped in that car exploded on the highway and we got trapped in like 4-hour traffic. Remember that?
That sounds fun.
I actually don't remember that.
Probably because you were sleeping while I was driving.
Dude, we were trapped bumper to bumper. It was like 4 hours.
Yeah, I do remember that part. I just didn't remember the car blowing up.
Eventually, we were driving and there was a car on the side of the road that was on fire. And you're like, oh, okay, that's why. Yeah, I just was like, oh, this is a horrific inconvenience for everyone. But anyways,
Yeah, Vegas. We can talk Vegas the whole podcast, but anyway, so we also meet Fazio or Fabio. What's his name?
but Fabrizio.
Fazio.
Fazio. Yeah, Mike just finished this movie like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Fazio, the magician of the casino, and he's awful at his job. And he has like his wife or other person he does the show with,
Yeah.
aside from Tammy. So there's like it's a 3-person show. It's Fazio, his wife or girlfriend, and Tammy.
Eric, did you recognize the girlfriend?
No,
She's the lead from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
I couldn't put that together.
But I love this whole movie. They're like, you're fat and old. And I was like, she's neither of these.
No, she looks great. She looks great.
No,
What
but it
are
was
they
so
talking
crazy.
about?
Like everybody in the movie is like, maybe you could have done this when you were 20 pounds lighter and 20 years younger. And I was like, this woman is gorgeous. Like, what are we supposed to think she's fat?
She's definitely like in her 40s
She was 36.
in this.
Yeah.
All right, well, Tammy's like 23.
They were trying to make her look fat and old and ugly so that when they did like the wish that she had, they wouldn't really have to use much makeup.
We didn't get there yet, Mike. We didn't get there yet, Mike. But yeah, no,
Oh,
good
yeah.
point.
It was just so funny. Like so many characters like, all right, fatty. I'm like,
This is
What?
fat. Like, yeah, I agree with that. I totally hear you. Like, go to Vegas now. Like, she would be like, if anyone called her fat, it'd be like, what? Like, look at that guy.
yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, those are like all the ancillary characters, I guess. The owner, the two guys that are roughing him up, the magician, his assistant, his girlfriend, and then the Scott. So those are all running around, and the leprechaun is what, trying to get his last.
So what happens? Yeah, what happens is Fatty McFat, the fat woman who's not fat, tells the kid who just lost all his money, he should pawn his watch off at the pawn shop across the street and get more money. So he goes over there, and is Gupta dead now?
Yeah, so we kind of skipped over that part. So basically, when the leprechaun first left the pawn shop, he had dropped a coin, which Gupta picked up, and I guess Gupta like just kind of waited for the leprechaun to come back for his coin so that he could kill him. So he tried to kill him with the revolver he had, which didn't work, and then he ended up getting strangled with his phone cord.
Right,
And
right, right.
our guy Scott, the dumbest kid, walks in.
Comes over to sell his watch, finds him dead, calls the cops.
He calls 411.
Oh, I don't even remember that yet.
Excuse me, operator. I found a dead guy.
Jeez Louise.
This guy got into college.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking that.
He's not going to college. He lost all his money.
Yeah. Okay. So he goes into, so he goes back into the pawn shop and he finds a dead body. And then the leprechaun's there though, too, right?
No. But here's the thing. He finds the coin. He goes, I wish I was back at the casino and on a winning streak. And then right then, the leprechaun was going to swing at him. Oh yeah, because he decides to go on the computer and look up Wikipedia game, the encyclopedia game, and
Yeah.
finds out about the coin. So he wishes he's back at the casino on a winning streak. And right as he makes the wish, he disappears, goes back to the casino, and the leprechaun's behind him, about to like hit him with the cane or whatever he has. What's that? What's a shillelagh? Is a walking stick? I think it's a shillelagh.
So we learned from the computer that if you hold the coin and you say, I wish, you can get a wish per coin, I guess.
No, you get unlimited wishes as long as you have a coin.
Oh,
Everyone's wishing off that coin.
okay. So if you get a coin, you can make a wish, but you got to say, I wish.
What would your wish be, Alec, if you had the coin?
That Dodge Challenger. I wish I got that Dodge Challenger instead of my Nissan Sentra. I was so close. And I was like, this is impractical. And now 5 years later, I'm like, nah, that was a dumb choice. I should have got that car.
Yeah. I would just start with I wish I could pay my phone bill on time. I'd start with that and then go from there. And Mike, what would your wish be? Don't say world peace.
No, it'd probably be like, I wish I invested in Bitcoin when it first came out.
Yeah. All terrible wishes, but I like them.
Well, these guys, his wish was just like, I wish I was at the casino and winning my money back. So I mean, he does that, teleports him. He starts winning like crazy, and then as every movie
The
when
magnets are breaking on the machine even. So like the
Yeah.
owner's like, what the hell's going on?
Speaking of which, he wins 100 grand and he's just walking around with it in the casino. Tammy sees him.
And it doesn't even Tammy's like, get the hell out of here as fast as you can. You're underage.
Yeah, she's warning him. You need to leave. Like, take your money and go. And he's like, nah, I got this free hotel.
No, but he's also like, I want to give some to you. Doesn't he say something like that? And it's like, what
Yeah,
the?
he's such
You
a.
just met this magician girl.
There's something wrong with him.
Yeah, he's not destined to survive in this world, in Vegas especially.
He's not firing at all cylinders.
just love it, Mike. You're like, there's something wrong with him. Like,
Something wrong with his boy.
I mean, he definitely is an idiot.
Right. So like the casino owner comes over and says like, "Hey kid, let's give you a fancy hotel room and you spend the night," thinking that he'll get drunk and piss it all away at the hotel that he owns and casino. So that's how he thinks he's going to get his money back from this kid, which does happen in Vegas. Hotel rooms in Vegas are like $30 for a reason. It's so you go and spend your money in the casino, and they're everywhere.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I guess this hotel, they don't have locks on their doors because everybody just walks straight into every room.
Well, the people that do are mostly the leprechaun is magical one, and the other people are people that work at the hotel mostly.
No, Scott just walked right into Mitch's room while he's having sex with that TV porn star, like that just crawls out of the TV.
But was he with Tammy?
Yeah, this was after Tammy kicked him in the nuts and left because he got the coin stolen by I forget her name. Who's the woman everyone keeps calling fat?
Fatty. Let's call her Fatty. The fatty woman.
She's from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I can't remember. Yeah, I guess maybe the hotels don't have locks. That's like the last thing I was thinking about watching this. I was like, there's so much dumb shit in this movie.
Well, I'm just like, so he calls room service and then all of a sudden he takes a shower and then there's a magician in his room,
Yeah.
Fazio.
Because they know about the coin somehow. They figured out the coin somehow.
Well, They're trying to steal the 100 grand he just won.
Right, right.
Him and Fatty,
Yeah.
Fazio and Fatty are trying to steal the 100 grand, and she said, "Look out for this coin." And all he got was the coin.
Right, because she knows the coin. Right.
Yeah, that was the funniest fight ever. Was when Fazio like threw like a blanket or something at Scott, and he just like falls on the ground.
No, he
Yeah.
punched him in the stomach after he threw the towel.
Right. It was such a weird, awkward fight, and I was like, Scott, come on,
Yeah,
get up.
Scott is just pathetic.
So the leprechaun though, the coin is in the casino. The fat woman who's not fat figures out that if you say I wish, you can get whatever you want. So the hotel casino manager says, "Hey, that Tammy girl loves me. I guarantee you she wants me or whatever." He I think says I wish. I think I don't even remember that.
I wish, oh my God, I wish I could have Tammy.
Yeah. And then Tammy comes in, she's like, and she's just talking to him like a fucking baby. And I was like,
Yeah,
what is this?
that was so weird.
That's like her sexy, like, ooh voice. I was like, you literally sound like you're trying to be a little girl. I was like, what is happening? So then they go up to this room and yeah, she gives him this like intense strip tease and they're really getting close. And then what sets her off that she doesn't, that it wakes her up? Something woke her up.
The woman, the fatty McFat makes a
Yeah,
wish, and that her wish
Oh,
goes away.
she stole the coin.
right.
So does that mean when he made the wish about getting with Tammy, does Scott's money in his bank account just all of a sudden go away too?
We never saw the money again.
Right? We didn't. So Mike's right. So every time you make a wish, the other wish goes away. So that's how she finds out with the coin. They get the coin. What's his name is getting a strip tease, and then all of a sudden Tammy snaps out of it, and she's like, "Ew, this is gross." And he's like, "You're fired. Get out of my hotel." And Fazio's show sucks anyway, so get out of here. Yeah, she's all devastated. I would be like, "Did you drug me? Like this is clearly you drugged me if I'm here right now." Like,
Yeah, she probably has a lawsuit.
I don't think the previous wish goes away. I think if you're in the middle of a wish, it ends.
God, oh,
But the fatty became beautiful, and then she didn't change until the leprechaun decided he wanted to kill her.
yeah, because Leprechaun don't care about wishes. He'll do whatever.
There's like,
Yeah.
there shouldn't be this much discussion for this movie.
Leprechaun don't care.
There's so much going on. Like, it's like hard to keep track of like, where's the coin? Where's the fuck? Why is the leprechaun doing this?
Doesn't Scott get bit too and throw him out a
Well,
window?
hold on. Yes, that comes. Like,
I'm all messed
Yeah.
up.
we'll talk about that, but we got to finish the scene we're talking about. So we're in the room. The lady leaves, but then Tammy leaves, but then the guy is like, "Well, I'm so horny" or whatever, and the leprechaun goes on the TV and starts switching between like a Miss Cleo. Was it like a evangelical priest? Like, what was he? He was all
Like
these
a
different.
He was
lawyer.
yeah, he was an attorney.
Yeah, and that was fun, like to see these different commercials of Leprechaun. But then a sexy woman's on the screen, and she keeps saying the guy's name.
Started with the sexy woman, actually.
Oh, it started with the sexy woman. Okay.
Yeah, because then she crawled out of the TV, and all this was. Then the leprechaun was on the TV after she crawled out of it.
So I'm just gonna say this: did the Ring copy Leprechaun 3? I'm asking questions.
I mean,
You
that's the
know,
first thing I can remember crawling out of a TV. It's
I don't
Leprechaun
know.
3.
I'm just saying, Ring. What's up? What's up?
You're not wrong.
I don't know. What about Arnold Schwarzenegger in what is that, Action Hero?
I mean, dude, don't get me started on Terminator copying Child's Play 2. It's the same movie. Conversation for another time, but it is the same movie.
Yeah, it is kind of. But yeah, so this scene was awesome. I mean, the robot lady who comes out of the TV is having sex with or trying to have sex. And I guess they do. I don't know. But they're sleeping with the casino owner. And then the leprechaun's like, all right, turn into a robot now. So then she's got like fake boobs, a robot face, and she kills the guy.
That was wild.
That was fun.
Wait, can I backtrack for just a second?
Why not?
Do either of you guys remember what the casino owner Mitch said to the woman who crawled out of the TV?
No.
I don't remember. I can only imagine it being terrible.
She started undoing his belt, and he's like, "Oh, you want my heat-seeking moisture missile, don't you?"
That's right. I do remember that now.
1995, baby. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, that was bad.
What a great line.
Yeah. So then he's dead now, but then his two goons or whatever that are like, "You owe us money." They come in, and the leprechaun kills. This was like I couldn't even
Oh
believe the
yeah,
leprechaun. Dude, he like takes a golf club or something and like is able to beat both of them.
yeah.
That was so stupid.
Well, he rips the guy's eyeball out.
Yeah, yeah. All right, that guy I'll give it to. But the other guy, dude, he like hits him on the knee and then like hits him in the face. I was like, this is
In his back like a couple times, and that was it.
it was bad. It was bad. So apparently they're all dead.
That's the thing about movies. Like, like you have these guys with a gun that are putting it like right against somebody's head. You can fire that from like pretty much any distance you want. You don't have to be right up next to him. So he was close enough for the leprechaun to beat him with his mallet. I'm just saying.
It was the dumbest scene in the world.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
bad, Mike.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was horrible choreography, like unrealistic. Like, come on, fuck off. Like, at least shoot the gun if you're gonna. I don't know. It was horrible. So then after that, what happened? Scott. Then I think Scott gets bit by the leprechaun. Right? We've reached that point.
Scott come into the room to go rescue Tammy, but Tammy's not there. I don't remember.
I think Scott got bit earlier than that.
I feel like he did.
God damn this movie.
It's messing with my brain. Anyway, whether it's in his room or Mitch's room or the hotel owner's room, Scott gets bit and throws the leprechaun.
Out the window, right? He whips him out the window.
Yes.
Yeah.
He falls like at least 18 stories.
He's like, ah, you hurt me head.
That was just after Fazio stole the coin. That was in his hotel room.
Right, right. So Fazio's fighting, a leprechaun shows up.
This is an interesting idea, though, that adds on the Leprechaun movie lore because this is the first time we see this, Mike. He has not been able to like bite a person and then like it's like a werewolf leprechaun now. That's never happened before. So that's new. But here's my question, though, Mike. Here's my question.
Mhm,
Why
mhm.
didn't Gupta become a leprechaun?
Yeah, he bit off his toe and stuff.
He bit Gupta.
Maybe it wasn't enough time. I don't know, in between.
No, it was because Scott got bit, and then I forget what he did to make the leprechaun bleed, but the leprechaun bled on top of Scott's open wound.
He got leprechaun AIDS.
Yeah, it's leprechaun AIDS.
He gave him leprechaun AIDS.
It was the green ooze. It was the green ooze out of the leprechaun's mouth.
Yeah,
You're right, Mike.
Damn.
Wow, very scientific. Very
yeah.
scientific.
I was upset. I wanted Gupta to become a wearer leprechaun or whatever.
Gupta also had the medallion, so maybe that worded off the spell.
I would have liked to see him do an Irish accent.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like an Indian guy doing an Irish accent. That would have been pretty funny. So Scott is like a leprechaun now. He's like he has leprechaun powers. He speaks with an Irish accent.
He's eating potatoes, making limericks up and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, so he's a leprechaun now. Tammy's well, like, whatever, just like, I want to get out of here, but I love you and whatever. What happens next then? Do we finally get to like the showdown? Because everybody's dead.
Don't forget about the Botox scene.
Right. Okay. So the lady wishes to be hot or whatever. The fat lady's like, I want to be hot. And then she like literally is just hot because she is always hot. And this movie's stupid. But yeah, so she's hot now. But then the leprechaun's like, you always want to be pretty, but I'll make you ugly or like some horrible line.
Like, I'll make your bosoms out to here. That's what he says, something like that.
So then her lips and her boobs and her butt, she looks like Howard the Duck.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Explodes.
That was probably honestly the best scene in the entire movie.
That plastic surgery explosion of her body just like not fitting through the door frame and all of a sudden exploding, and the leprechaun opening an umbrella because he's like, oh, she's gonna explode Botox stuff all over me. It really made me contemplate my life and choices that brought my eyes to witness this scene. Yeah, I'll just say that.
Man, I thought it was the best scene in the movie.
My favorite scene was the loan shark and his bodyguard were just like kind of riffing back and forth.
Yeah, that was the funniest for sure.
They were good too.
No, they were funny. I did like the special effects in the scene though. I was like, I was impressed for a 95 VHS. I was like, all right, you got me on that scene, but otherwise this is pretty trash.
That was wild though. That's just, it was like, this is the movie. This is the movie in a nutshell, the plastic surgery explosion scene.
Yeah, so she's dead. Now like most of the characters are dead. It's pretty much just they do like a final big magic show.
Yeah, yeah. Fazio or whatever wishes to be the best musician because he has the coin now, and he's like, "I wish to be the best magician in the world." And he's doing a show, and all of a sudden, a leprechaun appears out of the box. Right?
Yeah, and I can't remember. Oh, and he puts Fabrizio or whatever. He puts him into the box and cuts through him, right?
Yeah. Everyone in the crowd is loving the leprechaun part of the show.
Right. So Leprechaun, yeah, he comes in. He's like, "Give me my coin," and then puts him in the box.
The magic box, and he's in the box. He chainsaws him, and actually doesn't do the trick. He just chainsaws him in half and shows the crowd, and all of a sudden there's chaos erupting. The crowd just like panics and runs out of the casino, and then there's the final showdown.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. It was like right after Fazio gets sawed in half, Scott bursts onto stage and says, "Everybody run! This guy's a madman!" Like they don't already know that.
That yeah, it's like, oh, I thought that was part of the show. I mean, I would. They were in Vegas.
But how does Scott get tied up? Because he at some point he's like strapped to like a chair, right?
Oh, that's the hospital.
Oh, they went to the hospital. Okay.
Yeah, Tammy took him to the hospital, and the doctors are like, "Well, this is nuts. We're literally drawing blood. It's green.
It's like Shamrock Shake.
We're taking like an EKG and it's little stamps of leprechauns."
Yeah, that's right. It's like fuck you, but it's a
Yeah.
leprechaun stamps. Like, god damn it, this movie.
Dude, this movie's crazy. I forgot about that. I completely erased that whole hospital scene. And then the leprechaun shows up with like he just walks into the hospital as a doctor,
Oh
right?
yeah. He's like, Heidi, Heidi ho. And he
And
walks.
he has his face mask as his hat or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, this scene is so stupid. But it shows that Scott has leprechaun powers and he's able to what is he? He like kills a doctor, right?
No, he like kisses her and she passes out.
Okay.
Yeah, and he like uses his powers to like cut out of the he like
Yeah.
levitates some saw to cut his things
Yeah.
that they held him down with and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he smelled the main leprechaun. And from one of the scenes, you like saw the computer that says, "Oh, two leprechauns can't be in the same room together or they fight or something." So he goes to fight the other leprechaun. And then that leprechaun pages Tammy, like in the hospital, like report to the morgue. And so she goes down there thinking Scott's dead. And then
They go back to the casino, right? I mean, they're like, all right, we got to fight this leprechaun.
yeah, the leprechaun captures Tammy in the hospital, straps her to a bed, and is about to cut her face off, and then cue Scott, and then they start fighting.
Yeah. So, god damn, this movie is so like it's so long for what it is. There's so much that's crammed in this 90 minutes. Hospitals, casinos. It's just it's a lot. Magic show, but the magic show is like the final showdown, though, right? Or is it at the hospital? I literally can't even remember now. Is it at the casino or the hospital? The final fight.
I literally just watched it. I don't even remember.
But there's a final fight. I like literally don't remember how the leprechaun dies.
Well, he like bursts into flames, right? Because he takes Fazio's flamethrower and burns the pot of gold
Oh, right,
that's
right,
on stage for some reason.
right.
And once he burns the pot of gold, all of a sudden the leprechaun just catches on fire and starts flying around. He starts flying around, right? He starts flying around.
This movie didn't have a script. This movie had like a bare, it had like an outline of what the scene was going to be, and then they just winged it, dude.
Why did the leprechaun go flying around the room and stuff on fire, right? That he was flying around on fire.
Yeah. And then he just disappears, and then it's over.
No, and then they walk out with the coin, and he says some cheesy line, and she's like, "Why don't you make a wish?" And he's like, "I have everything I need." It's like, well, you don't have your money for college, clearly, so wish for that again. I don't know, but they still held on to the coin, and it ends like kind of ambiguously. I don't know.
I mean, they didn't mention the 100 grand that he won, but I assume he still had it.
Is it in his pocket, Mike?
Apparently, he had that weird vest, that like the cargo vest with a million pockets in it. I don't know where else he would have kept the money because Fabio went through all his suitcases and didn't find it in his hotel rooms.
It'd be funny if Tammy, as they're walking out, she's like, "Oh my god, my car!" Like or something. Right? Like I left my car on the road.
That's how the movie should have ended, and then just like the credits just start. She's like, "Oh fuck, I forgot about my car." Oh no, it wouldn't be the Friends theme song, but you know, actually maybe it would have been. They're like, it's a nod to Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, this movie sucked though. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, it was not great.
What did we accomplish? Like, if the director's like, what did you want to set out to accomplish with this movie? Like, what do you think this guy accomplished when this is over?
Yeah, I don't know because Tammy literally just met that guy a few hours earlier, but she has the gold coin, which I would have thought the leprechaun wouldn't be dead because there's still one coin left. And then they walk outside of the casino together, and she's like, "What do you want to wish for?" And he's like, "I don't know. What do you want to wish for?" And she's like, "I've got everything I need," and then tosses it into like the sewer or the street or something. Like, you got everything you need.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. I would have held on to that coin. You definitely don't have everything you need.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Tammy, you just got fired.
Yeah. Your dream of becoming a magician, which is weird, but
I mean, that's Vegas, baby. Welcome to Vegas, right there. Boom. I've had weirder nights in Vegas. I really have had weirder nights in Vegas than Scott.
Well, this movie, it sucks because I mean, it already sucks, but like, there's no continuation. It's not like these characters are in any of the other movies. It's just here we are, you know. It's challenging to get through this series, but I did hear that Back to the Hood is very good, and I'm not joking. I've actually heard it's good.
We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun with the hood
Yeah.
ones.
But Eric, can you admit though that Chucky's fucking better than Leprechaun? Can you just admit it at this stage?
Better than this one. Yeah, yeah. I'll give it that.
Chucky 3 is not great, but Chucky 3 is so much better than this, dude.
I like this better than Chucky 3, I think. I don't know.
Well, all right, Eric, seriously, you gotta check if there's a gas leak at your house, dude. Like, I'm concerned.
I might. I might.
There's no way that this is better.
I don't know. I have a soft spot for the Leprechaun, I guess. I don't know.
Just be honest.
A
Like,
doll versus a leprechaun. Maybe Chucky versus the Leprechaun is the movie I need in my life.
be sick. I'd see that.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
maybe if Warwick Davis played Chucky.
What? He's a leprechaun.
Well, he played the leprechaun,
I said maybe if he did.
That would suck.
so he played both Chucky and the leprechaun.
Yeah, I like Warwick Davis.
Yeah, that's why I like the leprechaun.
Brad Dourif is Chucky. You need him.
Chucky's just the doll.
He's a voodoo.
I wrote a limerick for Mike real quick if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
There once was a fellow named Valente who had grazer hair of plenty. He mixed pizza and beer and soon would appear the walls and floors painted red with more pizza. I kind of rhymed. Limericks are hard. I'm sorry. I tried.
Damn, it was good until the ending.
Yeah, I know. I got to fix the ending. I think I messed up the ending a bit.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, because you can't mix beers and pizza, Mike. I know that for a fact.
No, I can't. Shouldn't have had it. Shouldn't have had that pizza.
All right. Well, Mike, thank you very much for suffering through this with us. And happy St. Patrick's Day, Mike.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Well, Eric, in the old wheel.
Let's spin that wheel. Here we go. Spinning. Okay. The Purge Anarchy.
Hey. All right. I believe we have a guest for this. It might be somebody from Twitter that reached out. So I'll double check and, well, we'll see who's going to be on. But anyways, Mike, thank you very much for joining us today once again.
Of course, always a pleasure. Love doing these with you guys.
We'll get you in space, Leprechaun in space, and Back to the Hood and in the Hood. We'll get you for all of them.
Yeah, you're our Leprechaun guy. All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening to our discussion on Leprechaun 3. And we'll see you next week with The Purge Anarchy.
Woo!